Samir Vitlani is an experiential marketing expert and educationist. After his MBA from KJ Sumaya, he started his career with Radio Mirchi and was there till I think 2010 in different capacities. Thereafter, he worked at senior management positions as Associate VP at Ogilvy and Mather and then as Vice President at Engage More. I think the time when I met you for the first time, it was when you were with Ogilvy and Mather. He is presently serving as general manager with the DDB Mudra Group. In more than 14 years of his professional career, he has worked with clients like HUL, Nerolac Paints, Mahindra and Mahindra, Godrej Appliances, P&G, Cipla, and many more. His expertise in brand activation, market analysis, managing campaigns is evident from the several awards that he has bagged on a nationwide scale in numerous creative fests. One campaign that I recall, and I think I have actually been using that in some of my classes as well, was Health Cha Shri Ganesh, which won prestigious Black Elephant at Curious 2015, Gold at Creative Abbeys Goa Fest 2015. The campaign won 15 plus awards in the same year. I think it was a landmark campaign. I have seen many of your other campaigns, of course, because whenever you share all those campaigns with me, I make it a point to even write my comments about them. So I've really enjoyed all of them. But I think this really stood apart. It was fantastic.
Thank
I
you.
would like to now invite you to the session on virtual events and launches because we all know that we are in this digital world, and in the morning they had a session on going digital. So you are going to take it forward in the same direction by talking about your personal experiences in this wonderful field of event launches. So all
Sure,
over
ma'am.
to you, Samir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure, ma'am. Uh, Hi, everyone. Morning. Firstly, I think, am I audible? I think I'm audible to everyone.
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. Firstly, let me just apologize for the delay. I think I'm about 8 minutes delayed on the session. Honestly, it had skipped my mind that there is a session with you guys. There are like five pitches that we are right now on, and all of those pitches are actually virtual event pitches. So I think the world is just going bonkers with virtual events, and it's just taking a lot of efforts to put together a virtual event. I don't know if any of you guys have had an opportunity to see any virtual events till now or be a part of it. More than happy to first see and understand if you guys have any kind of understanding or knowledge about a virtual event and how it is done and what are the elements of it. Open to please have a comment or switch on your mics and talk about it, please.
Samir, this is Professor Manmeet Barve here.
Hi, Manmeet.
Uh, Hi. I have been part of all the Economic Times virtual events which are currently happening on the retail and the marketing sector in last 3 months, as well as I did a small certification on the Keystone software for virtual events. The Keystone software which uses virtual events by Economic Times.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Any other students who have been part of it? I am sure professors have glued on to a lot of virtual learnings and virtual. I think students have also done a lot of courses for sure. But anything on virtual events that you guys have seen, experienced, that has been like specifically like registered in your mind? Even Manmeet, for that matter, even you, if there is something that you have registered in mind in terms of how that event was done, specific elements of that event that you liked.
Uh, the gamification around it, when you are able to go to a lobby and actually, get the feel of the 3D view or the augmented view of how an event looks like, and then from there you go to various speakers. Actually, it is more better than the offline events because there is a lot of disturbance that happens in an offline event. Here you are able to concentrate and listen to the speakers, and you can listen to your favorite speakers, and if you're not able to attend a particular speaker, you're able to go back and see the video recordings again and again. And the best part is you are able to network with a lot of people online itself, so you get their cards or information online. You're able to download a lot of resources, so you're able to download a lot of PDFs and presentations and videos about various companies which are associated with a particular technology. So it is actually more better than the offline event, because in an offline event there is a lot of disturbance. In an online event, you're able to interact with, get more knowledge, in fact.
Fair. Okay, so I think just deep diving into a virtual event, I would like to first show you guys one video, and then from there, let's see what are the takes that you have on this particular event, and then I will touch upon different elements of that event that you can probably, we can discuss it out. Yeah. So can you guys see this?
No, it's not visible actually. So have you shared it?
Yeah, I've just shared it.
Pradeep sir is also there to help you, so you can just address him.
Sure, 1 second.
Yeah, we can see.
Is it visible now?
We can see now. Yes, we can see now.
Is it gone back?
Yeah, it is. It is showing. Samir, it is showing correctly.
Okay. Just checking on the voice. Just confirm the. Uh, what's the take on the video, guys? Did you guys understand the kind of elements that were involved into this virtual event?
Yes, sir.
Can we have some kind of comments, guys? I think it's better that I hear from you guys as well in terms of what was your take on it. Like, if you guys understood anything in particular, liked anything in particular, did not like anything in particular.
Hello, sir. This is Prasad Borkar.
Yeah, hi Prasad.
It was like I'm physically attending the event, and it was a very fantastic experience for me. And it's as in we are at home, so we miss that physical touch. So it gave me that physical touch that I'm attending the event physically. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let me just touch upon a lot of elements. I think it's going to be difficult to kind of have a two-way communication because a lot of people, a lot of you will be probably shy to even comment on, and then muting, unmuting is an issue. So any event that we'll do on virtual platform, just think of it as an actual physical event. What we're actually generating right now is right from a invite to kind of moving into the entire experience of an event. We're creating everything for the brand. You not only get an invite in a physical event, but you get normally a WhatsApp message or a link saying that this is a link, come and kind of scan it and enter the event. We're doing exactly the same stuff here. Like from the start of the event till the end of the event, it just has a great journey. So let me just pull out a presentation and I'll explain you basis that presentation. It will be better for you to understand in terms of the journey of a virtual event. Yeah, before that, I'll just show one more video and then we'll move into the presentation. You guys able to see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. classic case of a complete event, right from the start to the entire journey of an event, which moves on different parts of it, engaging people during the entire event, plus using creatives in a way that you actually feel that you've entered the arena of an event, and it doesn't really make you feel that you're part of something else, some other event which is just there. You're just listening to some speakers. This is more engaging, more involving, lot of immersive experiences where you probably want to give a very physical kind of an element to the event by having those pre-function games. You can actually had a jigsaw, you had a selfie zone. You actually also went through the meeting room where you want to call 5 or 6 of your friends or your colleagues and you want to have a conversation in that meeting room. Probably your South Zone guys want to create their own conversation. North Zone wants to have a discussion in their own room. So you can actually block a room and have a conversation individually as well into those rooms. So right from different elements, virtual event, the entire thing can be created and made very lively for the consumers. And for the, let me just take you guys through a small presentation which will have different elements of virtual events and how it's actually panning out for a lot of brands. So every scenario, I don't need to really talk about it. We are all going through a scenario where sorry, am I back on this? There was, I think, a disconnect which happened.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You guys are able to see the presentation?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
So basically, in the current scenario, we all are aware of how things are happening, right? We don't need to really talk about COVID over and over again, but I think keeping in mind the current situation, virtual event has really come up as a big solution provider for a lot of brands. Keeping in mind that you are still creating an experience without too much of hassle for anybody and nobody put to risk as well. Now, what are the things that you can do with a virtual event? You can actually create a lot of dialogues, not only with your consumers, with dealers, with channel partners, even make it interactive for students. I have seen a lot of virtual events which are targeted to even students these days in terms of courses, in terms of career guidance, in terms of way forward in life. So a lot of, I think, different ways of doing virtual events. Consumers, dealers, channel partners are very critical from a brand's perspective. But I think the entire arena of virtual event has been taken over by different fields and different genres and different forms. You also have an option there to get a speaker, a host, or a co-host. So you don't need to really have somebody physically present, but you can actually shoot somebody in a chroma backdrop. I hope you guys understand what's a chroma backdrop. You would have seen probably a green screen, or you would have heard something called as a green screen. So green screen is basically a chroma backdrop in front of which you can create a shoot and put it into a virtual event, which will actually make the person come alive. The earlier example that you saw of Mutut, the person standing in the arena and explaining everything, was actually a green screen or a chroma shoot done so that the person is actually there in totality and not just in a screen or in a window format. So there are different ways in creating that immersive experience. The best part about a virtual event is the reach of it and the scale of it. You can actually have 1,000 people, 2,000 people at the same time engaging with you on the virtual platform without a hindrance, without a bandwidth issue, without any current situation of risk of social distancing. Again, customization, branding. You saw the Britannia event, right? The kind of branding that was done in that event and the event that you saw earlier, it's completely possible to go to the level of the last mile branding as such. Analytics and detailed report. I'll come to this and the security part in the following slides because a lot of brands want to maintain high security of these virtual events. Like imagine if you are having a dealer meet or a channel partner meet where you have your specific base of dealers. Now you don't want those dealers to be exposed to a competition. So you need to ensure that the security or the kind of safety of a tech-driven virtual event is maintained, ensuring that nobody actually gets a bypass into that event and a competition information is leaked out. Now, any other event that you speak of, like a physical event, you have all these elements. what we have also tried to do is keep the same elements into a virtual platform, right from your registration to an invite to a help desk to a pre-function area, which was what you saw in Britannia AV, to a product display, getting into auditorium, now the analytics, heat map reports, all these things are possible in a virtual event and gives a larger than life experience for a brand. They can actually understand those 1,000 people who attended my event, how were they and what all elements that they walked into and how did they like the event, did not like the event, what part of the event actually made sense to them. So right from the pre-registration phase where we say that, we can send out the invite to the audience and a OTP is generated. If you saw the Britannia video very minutely in the initial part, there is an OTP that they have to enter and enter the event, in fact. So this is how it happens. We send out an email to somebody who is the audience. The audience also gets an entry code or an OTP. Basis that they get an access to enter into an event. Something like this, which you saw in Britannia, right? You had a registration desk kind of a stuff. You go there, you kind of feed in your OTP or a unique code, and you enter the event. That's how the event journey is in any other event also, in a physical event also. So we try to maintain that so that whoever is coming in actually feels that he's part of an event which is like a live event and not just a recorded show which is happening. Because a lot of events are run today in form of recorded shows. And that kills the whole idea of live virtual events because you don't interact with the audience. You just are there, you're probably playing the content in form of an AV. People are just seeing it and just gathering information, but there's no connection, there is no conversation, there's no interaction, which somewhere kills the whole idea of a live virtual event. Now let's look at the setup glimpse here. This is what you saw in the Britannia as well. Now this is completely blanked out. The one that you saw with Britannia had a lot of branding elements, if you remember. You had branding on the left, right, on the side. The color coding was different. In the virtual areas of pre-function area, you had a jigsaw game, you had a selfie booth, you had a networking zone as well. So this is exactly the same, but the skeleton of it, like an arena of sorts. Now, what are the elements in this arena? Yeah, right from your desk, which is your help desk, you enter into it, you have information about what are the sessions going to be like. So say, for example, tomorrow in a virtual event, you want to do multiple sessions, and not restrict it only to one speaker. Like say, for example, we have, our Dean Sunita ma'am who is there, and we also have Professor Manmeet who is there. So tomorrow, imagine they both want to have a different session in different rooms. It will come here in terms of, information of the session that, our Dean Sunita ma'am is actually in a particular room taking a session and Professor Manmeet is in a particular room taking another session. So you can actually feed in your information here in the help desk and the viewer or the visitor or the students who are supposed to enter in can actually understand which room that I want to get into to listen to a particular speaker. Now, in the last part of it, you have something called as ask. Now that ask is actually diverted to a helpline number or a text service where you probably are stuck and you don't know where to go from here. So that's also interesting because a lot of times you have bandwidth issues, you don't know where you want to go, you are stuck with a virtual event because that virtual event may sound exciting, but it is not very simple for a lot of people to understand when they are taking it for the first time. You will probably get lost thinking that is this guy on the left hand side on the mobile phone me, or is the guy on the right hand side in this formal attire me? No, that's not you. Who actually is looking at the session and who's actually passing through right now is the person who is you. So you actually get the first person visual of the event, which is very exciting and interactive. Guys, please stop me wherever there is a question or a query. More than happy to take it. Okay, moving forward, interactive session. I was talking about when you saw the Britannia AV also, there was a puzzle here. There was a jigsaw puzzle here, which was actually creating some kind of engagement buzz. You had a selfie zone. There is a possibility of having a selfie, which you can take it virtually and actually have downloaded the entire content on your phone. So imagine you take a virtual selfie of yourself in a part of an event with the backdrop of the brand and you click on it and then you get an option of downloading it, which can make it real time available for you on your mobile phone or your laptop. And you can again go back to a social media and kind of upload it. See the entire interface of this. You were in a virtual event, you took a selfie, you got it on your mobile phone and you upload it on a social media. You see the entire interface, guys. That's how interesting the virtual events are becoming. So it's not just a static event where you're there and you're attending and that's over and done with because you had two speakers and probably a AV or a presentation. But this is a piece which is very exciting. Also on the left hand side, you'll see something called as a product. Now here we can actually take a product done for different brands. So tomorrow, say for example, we just recently completed a campaign for Godrej, Godrej wanted to kind of have different products highlighted here. So we had a refrigerator and a microwave, a washing machine displayed in the product zone. The consumers were coming in here and actually taking a look at the products. They were going through the product information, they were going through the product highlights, and that's how the entire interaction happened at this zone. Guys, am I going fast or I'm in pace with you guys? Any questions, queries till now? Okay, I'll take it as none. Okay. Okay, moving forward in terms of product display, there are different ways of displaying a product, as I was informing you. If the product is actually in a 3D format, we can actually make the product turn around completely. So imagine a consumer can click on the refrigerator and view all the 4 sides of the refrigerator. So it's like a 360-degree view that the consumer can get of the refrigerator. He can see what kind of colors are there, what kind of designs are there, what kind of patterns are there, and it completely is live to him. So, you can actually have a host also who's standing next to the product and explaining the different benefits of the product. Something like this. You can also create a product manager's live room where you can have only the product manager along with some specific speakers, and you can actually do an event basis that. Like you can explain them what are the things that you can do with the product. This is what I was talking about in the networking room. Imagine you have a South Zone team who wants to have an immediate discussion on something important that they understood from the product and want to communicate it to only the South Zone members. They can book a networking room. They can invite those people specifically. Like say, for example, I booked this room. I had an option of inviting those people who are there only to come to this particular room, be a part of this room, and I can have a conversation one-on-one with them. So imagine if in our case, I'm just going back to the example of our Dean, Sunita ma'am, so that you guys can relate to it. Imagine ma'am wants to create a small room and have a discussion with a specific set of faculties only, like marketing faculties only. So she will call on and ask people to join in this room and only have those marketing faculties here in this room to have a specific discussion which is related to only marketing people. So that is how this networking zone works. Depending upon the specific requirement of a department or a function or a region, you can book this room and block it and actually have only discussion amongst those members. The rest of the people are there in the event, but they don't know that this networking room is booked by a particular person and I'm not allowed there or allowed there. Only if I get an invite is when I will be able to allow into this particular networking room. Now coming to the main show. Now this is a highlight of everything, right? If you don't have a show which is exciting and excellent, and obviously impactful and sexy, it will not have the visual impact of it. People will just come, be there, and just move out of it. Now, when I'm doing this kind of a main event or a main stage, I can do different ways of doing it. Now, this guy, if you go to see, this is a guy who's shot on a chroma screen, in a green screen, and he's brought alive here in front of the event. The rest of the elements are there at the background. The speakers are there on the screen, but this gentleman standing in front with the tie and a formal attire is the one who's been shot on a chroma screen and brought here. Now, different speakers can join from different regions as well. Now, say for example, you have a CEO of an organization who's sitting out of Singapore, and there is a marketing head who's sitting out of Bangalore. There's somebody who's sitting out of Chennai, and there's somebody in Bombay. Now, you can connect every one of them on the screen, while you can actually have a MC or a moderator of the shot on one screen in the center, like the person center. Depending upon the requirement, the event can be completely customized. Tomorrow, if you decide, a brand decides that they don't want to have a chroma screen gentleman here in front, we can only have the background with the screen and the speakers. So you always understand that, there is a chat bot which is there, which is there, or a chat session which is there. Now that is also a facility that you can easily ask a question, put out your question on a chat box, with the moderator will take it up and get the answer. There are ways and means of a PPT or a AV also to be played. Now, when I'm looking at the AV and PPT, imagine if the AV or the PPT was coming only on this box, the center box which is blue here. It would look very small, right? But there is an option to actually full screen. I can have a PPT or an AV which can be projected here, which comes full screen for anybody who's viewing it on a mobile phone or a laptop or any other device, which gives me a higher impact of the presentation and an AV. Or presentation and AV, I can combine PIP. I don't know how many of you all understand PIP. This is picture in picture. So imagine I have this entire thing which is with a presentation, but I have a small box on the right or the left where I can see the speaker, which is what is PIP, which is picture in picture, where I can have a presentation, but it's a small image of a speaker on the side, just making me feel that the person is talking to me and this is the person who is actually delivering the presentation. Now, when we move forward, there are also different ways of doing a product demonstration. Like imagine you have a product which is brought alive on a 3D in front of the stage and the launch sequence is done. So I'll take you through an event which there is the launch sequence of Godrej, and probably that's where you will be able to also understand how a launch sequence works. But it's an interesting piece where we exactly show how the in a arena like this happens and what are the kind of things that we can do. Q&A, polls, I think these are all things that you probably would have known of by now, and spoken about it. This is just a small AV to kind of show you what are the ways of bringing people alive. There is a volume largely here, so I will talk through it. So you can see the speakers live on the left and right screen. Now this is a view which a presenter can see. He can see a screen and he can see different speakers and he can see himself as well, provided he is able to be at a central location where we are doing the shoot from. Now this is how the Q&A panel can be created. So imagine you have all the speakers and everyone who is there, their visuals are there down. As in one person, you can easily plug that person from the screen at the bottom where you can see multiple faces to the screen on the left and the right where you can see one gentleman and one girl who's there. We can easily switch them. So the speaker or the Q&A person who's asking the question can actually come on the screen easily, which will make them feel a part of the event as well and not just be a view. See the audience question. I've actually got the guy on and the panel below here too, and that is how you can actually make it more interactive, make it more personal and customized. Like I would be more than happy to see myself on it and I can ask a question to the moderator or the speaker and see him answer it as well. Parallel rooms, we spoke about different sessions can happen in different rooms and you can actually guide the audience to different rooms. This is the kind of requirement that we have. Customization, I spoke 100% possible for any kind of brand. This is a small AV of a different arena. Now this is a night event kind of a visual where you can actually see the pre-function done in more of a cocktail format where you can have people gathering around. And these are visuals of images of people we have created. So it may not be necessary that you can identify people, but tomorrow if you want to have names popping up, we can do that. So we can actually have a name of people who are walking into the event on top of them so that I can recognize, oh, okay, Mr. Joshi has entered the event or Mr. Sharma has entered the event and they are in this arena and I can actually see them walking around. That is how interactive and immersive an event can become. Now, obviously, what all we can show, as I was discussing with you guys, we can have AVs, presentations, product displays, Q&As, websites which are there. Anything and everything is possible. Now, this is a display zone or a product demo zone. Now, even imagine you have a product demo zone, which is place where you can actually make people go through the product, see the product, experience it, and bring it alive in form of the audience is there. Now this is exciting, keeping in mind that you have a virtual promoter also who's explaining it. This promoter on the left hand side or the person who is there, the girl, is actually not physically there. We have shot her and put her there who can actually give out the demonstration to the consumers while this entire event is happening. And it is pre-recorded and pre-fed, so we know what is the information which is going to go out to the consumers. Now this is exciting. Now imagine if I had to give you analytics of how many people entered and attended the event. That's very simple, right? But if I have an analysis of how much was the average time spent by each of these guys, what are the areas that they went into, how was the lead generated, and how much time they spent in each of the areas, how much time they spent on the product display, how much time they spent on the engagement, the jigsaw puzzle, the selfie zone, that is a very analytical report because that helps a brand planning the event in future in a better way. If I know that the consumers are spending more time in an engagement zone, I would want to have a couple of more engagement games there or engagement ideas there, which will keep them hooked on to that zone for a longer time. If I understood that consumers were moving immediately away from my product zone, I can easily understand that the product display was not exciting or the product information was not to the T that people were actually resting there for a longer time. Now, this analytics is very critical in our parlance of job because not every event is like aware of the marketing by probably 8%. Only 20% of the money is there for marketing. So everyone wants to understand the ROI on their event, be it a virtual event for that matter. And this analytics helps us putting that entire piece in. Last and the most important thing, this event or this entire platform is 100% secure. There are a lot of policies and documents and security firewalls that we follow, which keeps the entire database of this event away from the use competition, away from anybody and everybody entering into the event. Only person who can enter the event are the ones who has the link and an OTP generated and the speakers, of course. We also have a dedicated speaker application created to experience the speakers, which is without distance, with any issue, without any problem. That brings me to the end of the presentation in terms of what are the things we can do and the platforms which we have. Also, concerts, you can also entertainment night. Say, for example, A.R. Rahman performing on a virtual event, it's possible. We have to shoot him in a green screen performing and plug him back in an event where people can feel that he's part of that entire setup or the stage setup or the entire arena that we created. There are different ways of doing an event, 2D way of doing it. 2D is very static, like how a Zoom, like how immersive and engaging is what we showcase. A 3D event where you have and the last one is immersive, which is what we saw of Britannia. You can actually go through the entire experience. You have a pre-function, you have an event branding, you have networking, which is more immersive in nature. So these are three different ways largely of doing an event. You can actually make an event as well. Tomorrow, if you want where you want 20 speakers or press people asking questions and you don't want to abstract them by putting questions on a chat, we can even do that kind of an event where you have speakers coming alive and actually having conversation with the speakers, panelists. So if kind of a format is easily available and we're exploring it. Like yesterday only we had a discussion with Western Union about doing a press conference where you have 20 speakers and you have 5 panelists having conversations, and then the PR or the media agencies, the kind of looking to how we can take this forward. That's more or less that we have from my end in terms of the presentation. Over to you guys. Any questions?
This is Manmeet here.
Hi, Manmeet.
If these virtual events are so successful right now, do you feel the event management companies would kill their business themselves, post COVID, or post December? So we are looking at venues, we are looking at costs, we are looking at food, and it's actually a huge cost. So are we indirectly, disrupting the whole event thing when you're doing it online and getting people habituated to it? What do you feel is going to happen after December? Are we going to become normal? We're going to go back to those events that we used to do earlier?
So I think, Manmeet, there are 2 points to it. Being a part of an event, it is right now about survival. Yeah. As you rightly said that, there are no events physically happening right now. So if as an agency, we don't reinvent right now and we don't create virtual event platforms right now, we don't know whether we'll survive till December also. For surviving till December, the virtual events will help. Agreed to a certain extent. It is creating for brands. I believe the physical touch and feel of an event will not go. Even if probably we have a 2 years of a lockdown also, the physical touch and feel of an event will not go up. There are still reasons to it. People are social. they will not meeting each other, interacting with each other, socializing with each other. And events give them a very interesting avenue to do that. And also, in an event, the biggest thing that we have right now, or something that we are not able to crack, is the touch and feel of the brand. Like I can do of a refrigerator or even for that matter paints, or even for that matter, but I don't have a touch and feel of the brand unless and until I don't bring the touch and feel factor alive, which is not possible on a virtual platform at all. The physical event will be staying here for good. So I think by December or maybe March, I think we will get back to those physical events. Even as we speak, we are actually getting conversations of hybrid where we have a gathering of 10 to 12 people in a ballroom or a banquet, and they will actually do a virtual physical event and put it on a virtual platform for those 1,000 people to come and see. So now that's where I have a physical setup, a physical arena, 10 to 15 people coming together, doing an event, and then I'm putting it on a virtual. And that's actually interesting. It's coming alive, I think, sooner than later. That is the next piece. And from virtual to hybrid and then moving into physical is where I think the journey will be.
Fantastic, fantastic. I believe we'll do a lot of shopping festivals also online in maybe weeks to come.
Yeah. I think shopping festivals. We had with somebody about yesterday. We have a lot of partners there. We're about creating the next Dubai Festival online. So you can very well understand how things are. If Dubai Festival is such a large festival, talking about doing something online and virtually, I'm not saying the entire festival will go online, but imagine even if a part of it is online, 1/4 of it or even 1/3 of it is online, it is exciting for people to get an exposure to it who probably are not able to physically be there in Dubai and be a part of that. It's like making worlds come closer to you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Samir. Thank you.
Pleasure, man. Anybody else has any other question, guys? Please feel free to ask any question. It may not be that you're asking the most intelligent question right now, because this is new for anybody and everybody. So you can ask me the stupidest question in terms of what is the bandwidth required, what is the cost, what is the kind of setup you do, how much time it takes. Please, I've kept those points open because I want you guys to ask some questions. Okay, can I consider there are questions? I think. Okay, then. Ma'am, I'm more or less done with this, I think. Yeah, Manmeet, anything you have in mind?
Nothing. I believe a lot of things in the presentation itself, how events are going to conduct
Sir?
it. And yeah, there is one student now. Yeah, great.
So suppose in upcoming future, in virtual events, people start uh, organizing a 3D goggles by which nowadays we are seeing movies in a theater with a 3D goggles, and then we are analyzing the thing that is happening nearby us. So maybe in the upcoming future this may happen, and then by the help of that you can make the people think that they are doing they are in physical touch with those particular things. So do you think that in upcoming events virtual will completely take over the physical particular areas?
Okay, so Smriti, what you are talking about is something like a Google Glass or an AR glasses, right? Wherein the viewing experience is excellent. You feel that you're immersive and you're part of the journey, movie, or an event. But look at it from a perspective. When I have to look at an event which is targeted to about 500 to 1,000 people, I can't give out those 500 to 1,000 glasses to everybody and anybody. Second is that is also going to give them an experience which is wow, agreed. But I still miss out on the physical touch and feel of a product. That is where I think the only lag right now is. If somehow virtual events can make the come alive and present alive, then there is a great future combining the Google glasses or AR glasses with the virtual platform, and but virtual glasses to a certain audience. Like say, for example, if I do a press meet with limited audience, 20 people, 30 people, I can look at a Google AR glass to be event. Otherwise, to keep it 500, it becomes commercially unviable for a brand to invest into those number of glasses and give it out to consumers and make them go through the journey. I hope I answered the question, Shruti.
Yeah, so
Well,
thank you, sir.
Sir, I like to add
5
something.
minutes and think to questions. I think,
Hello,
sure.
my name is Ramesh, sir. I am from MMS.
Yeah, Ramesh.
Sir, actually, you talked about the virtual platform. Like, I want to say that if I want to sell a product in an online platform, so is it like it's very tough to to understand the customer and to pitch themselves in the online platform. So, it's like, how is the customer? How will be the customer reaction? Like, if I want to sell the product and to understand them about the product basically. So, how will be like it will be a great like what's my question?
So consumer reactions have been different. Just give you an example. We've done about close to 20, 24 virtual events till now. Yeah. Some 10 or 12 have come from Godrej launches. Some have come from Nippon Paints. Some have come from Western Union, and a couple of them from and obviously Britannia. So keeping all that in mind, what we have seen over a period of time, this is an excellent platform for the internal consumers, like channel partners, dealers, retailers, because they are the ones for whom we need to do a lot of launches. We don't need to really have a lot of launches for consumers, because for consumers, television and to a certain extent radio, and obviously a lot of digital platform playing a part into it. So most of the events are targeted to internal consumers, which is your retailers, dealers, and distributors, and they have loved the virtual platform. The reason being, one is because it's giving them the flexibility of being anywhere and viewing it on their mobile phones. You don't have to physically to an event, step for 2 hours, some boring speeches, because you're in mobile, you don't really know who's watching and who's not watching. Obviously, unless until you have the analytics in place. But most of the time, people skip through the speakers. They see the launch kind of information, designs, cost price, etc., and they move into the arena where they can engage, and that's about it. So with the internal consumers, which is your dealers, retailers, and channel partners, it's been a big hit. Like they have loved it. And I think every second day that we do an event, we have a new query from a different brand who wants to do something exciting. I hope I answered your question, Ramesh.
Yes, sir, and I agree with you. And we know that most of the customers rely on physical touch rather than the online. So it will be in the initial stage, it will be really tough for them, and after that, like they will be used to it in this pandemic situation.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Ramesh. Anybody else has anything to add on? Also, I'm okay to your comments, if not questions.
Yes, Samir, I think we don't seem to be having any further questions.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll actually declare this session closed, and we'll thank you for being there, because I know you are extremely hard pressed for time. You have had client meetings since morning, and now you have to get into another meeting. I'm aware of that. So I think on behalf of all the students and all the attendees, I would like to express our gratitude to you. Thank you so much for joining us, Samir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.